Here we are, and I'm doing vintage pin curls for you guys. I originally didn't know I was going to do the voiceover, so I'm talking in the video, but then I decided to do it. So I've got 5 sections in my hair starting out. And I also have an undercut, as you can see, so that makes it significantly less hair for me. I heat up my Marcel and then I begin. So I'm using Kiwi Color Reflect by Artec, and it's just a blow serum. Even though I'm not blow drying my hair, I'm still using it on my hair to smooth it. I know these are curls and I do want that volume, but with my hair I have to use some kind of smooth serum or else the curls will be frizzy. And I like them to be smooth. I just put it in each section one at a time before I start curling. And each piece of hair that I curl is going to be the diameter of the curling iron in width. I clip the rest of my hair up once I am working in one section. And I do wrap my hair around the curling iron. Rather than the traditional way of starting at the end, I'm wrapping it because of the look I'm going for. After I'm done curling, I stretch my curl out with my fingers and brush through it, and then I'm going to reform it using my fingers. And then I pin it. Wherever I place my fingers to hold that curl, that's where my pin is going to go. And I do that all the way up my hair. So in the back, I usually start at the back from the bottom, and that's usually how I work with most curling I do. With each section, I am wrapping it and then brushing it out with my fingers and then reforming it, then pinning it. Once each section is done, I use hairspray. I'm just using Pantene. I haven't really decided on a good hairspray, so I just use really any hairspray I have lying around my house. This was just the one that I had at the time. I'll let you guys know when I find a good hairspray that I'm loving, but I have not found one that I love quite yet. Now I'm starting on this side, and all of my back is done. I only filmed half of it. And I use my Kiwi serum again. And then I start my pin curls. Again, they are the width of the diameter of the curling iron. And I curl, brush out, and then reform. Now I'm moving on to my next section on the other side. I haven't quite moved on to my mohawk section, which is the section on the top of my head. And with this section, I'm just doing the same thing. One thing I will say is that with parting, you have to be very careful that you don't run into the pin curls you've already done. With parting, you can sometimes accidentally comb into those pin curls and ruin the curls that you've worked so hard to make. So you just have to be careful with that. And I usually hold the curling iron in place for about 10 seconds before releasing it, brushing through and pinning it again. The way that I part to not run into those curls is by pushing my hair towards my face and parting into my face as seen. Because then I'm not parting into the curls I've already done. I'm parting away from the curls and into my face. I've moved on to my mohawk section, and this is the most important section, I feel, because it is the emphasis of the hairstyle. You can use the bangs to your advantage to give it a really vintagey, beautiful feel. And I put my product in, and I'm going to start from the back going to the front. The first pieces towards the back, they all go back. They all roll back. They don't go towards my face at all. But the front 2 or 3 pieces will go towards my face because it will give them more of a vintagey feel. Again, I do have bangs, so I am trying to grow them out, but my bangs are still pretty short, so it will give a different feel because of my bangs, but this should work just fine with any length of hair, whether you have bangs or not. So I spray that section with hairspray, and then I'm going to just spray all over my head just to set those curls. And I'm going to wait about 10, maybe 15 minutes before taking them out, just giving them some time to cool down and set. Now I'm starting to take them out as it's been 10-15 minutes. And I do use my fingers and my comb a lot to form these curls. I like to form them into waves. So I don't like them to be perfectly curled. I want them to be more of a wavy pattern. So I brush them and I use my soothing serum to form them the way I would like. And I'm going to form each curl into the first curl. So all over my head is going to be the same wave pattern. With the top section, the top curl, I'm going to back comb underneath just to give it some volume. So you can see that little bit of a bump there that it gives me. Now I'm working in my back sections, which is a little more difficult to see, but I am going to comb them into the front so they all work together in this hairstyle. Again, the top section I'm still going to be teasing. The top subsection of every section is teased so that it gives me more volume on top. These curls can be done a few different ways. You choose how they're going to look depending on how you comb and manipulate them with your fingers. I like mine not quite as curly, more wavy. You can see how I've done that. And my hair is shorter, so it will look different on longer hair. I'm teasing again to give that volume, and now I'm starting at my mohawk section again. That back section I'm going to be teasing behind. It's kind of hard to see because of my camera angle, but I'm teasing behind it and spreading it out over my head so that it gives me a little bit of a bump in the back, nothing too crazy. And I comb both of those sections that have been rolled back, and then the front two I'm combing forward. And in my bangs I'm also combing forward and to the side. They are all going to be one wave. My bangs kind of are their separate wave, but they move into the rest of the curls. As you can see, it's all coming together in one wave. And I tease a little bit where there are bends in the waves. One technique I use with my comb is I put my comb in my hair and then I bend it down as if I'm using it kind of like a round brush in a way. It just helps the curls to be more rounded. So you would just bend the comb down a little bit. And there you have it, vintage pin curls. These are great for special occasions. If you're wearing a beautiful dress, they're going to look very different and unique. Bye.